can see my screen, I can speak so that I would know. You can see my screen here. Can we all see the screen?
Yes, ma, we can see it.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
can see it.
Thank you very much. My name is Orolua Ola. And tonight I'll be faking tea. So please, if there's any point you are lost during this meeting, you can just let me know so that I would backtrack. Thank you very much. Is there a problem? Okay, so when you hear legal angle to environmental sustainability, what comes to your mind? You know, basically it's just environmental sustainability. So we have laws that guide the environment basically. You can type in the chat box if you are aware of any maybe national law, international law, or state law that guide environmental sustainability. Please, you can type that in the chat box if you are aware of any. Anyone? Greenies, please confirm if you can hear me so that I would know. Hello, can anyone hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I just wanted to know if we are aware of any environmental law. It might be international, it might be national, or it might be state. And if you are not aware, let me just know so that would go on. All right, so I would take that as us not being aware, but then we have environmental laws that guide the environment. We have international ones and we have national ones and we have state ones basically. So right now in today's lecture we're talking about the different laws that we have, and then we'll be examining three major ones, and then we'll talk about roles as change makers and change players in our different fields. And the next slide, an overview of some environmental laws in Nigeria. Then considering the next draft, and then we're talking about the EIA Act. Then we're talking about the roles laws play in environmental sustainability in Nigeria. Then we'll be change makers in our respective professions, and then we'll get to the end. So without much ado, we'll just go right to some environmental laws that we have in Nigeria. And first and foremost, we have the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended in 1999. It's the whole body that encompasses the whole law that guides Nigeria. So it has National Environmental Standards and Regulation Enforcement Agency Act, that's the NESRA Act. Then we have the Environmental Impact Assessment Act, that's the EIA Act. We have the Land Use Act, we have the Harmful Waste Act, we have the Hydrocarbon Oil Refineries Act, we have the Endangered Species Act, we have the Petroleum Act, we have the Nuclear Safety and Radiation Protection Act. So basically, these are the federal laws, like laws that have been passed by the National Assembly. And also, it is important to note that some states in Nigeria do not all states have environmental laws. These laws acts, they will be referred to as laws, and this is where the environmental you know people that deposit urine or is the one that like prohibits it and makes it an offense. Then in Kwara State, so there's a Kwara State Environmental Protection Agency law, which is applicable in Kwara State. So this law is only applicable in Kwara State. Basically, in Anambra State also, they have their own laws that guide the environment. But these are like the major states in Nigeria that have their own states enacted laws. So today would consider three major laws, basically. We consider the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we consider the Nigeria Act and the environment. Foremost, to the next slide, can we still all hear me?
Yes, you can.
Thank you very much. So now we're moving on to the 7. The Nigeria already means National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency. So the Nigeria is an agency. So the Nigeria Act is the laws that guides this agency. So this act is the one that empowers the agency to be responsible for enforcing every environmental law, guidelines, policies, standards, regulations, what have you in Nigeria. So this Nigeria Act empowers that body to enforce all the environmental laws in Nigeria. And then it also empowers the agency to enforce compliance with provisions of international agreements, protocols, conventions, and treaties on the environment. Whichever international treaty to which Nigeria is a signatory, it is this Nigeria Act that empowers this agency to ensure compliance with it. So the Nigeria Act is usually administered by the Ministry of Environment, and the Nigeria Act of 2007 replaced the Federal Environmental Protection Act, FEPA. So basically, this Nigeria Act repealed this FEPA, Federal Environmental Protection Act. So there are some sections in tonight, and it's section 7, section 8, subsection 1K, and section 27. So basically, section 7 provides that the international laws I already talked about today, and then sanitation and pollution, prevention and control of that. Section 8, subsection 1K empowers the agency to make and review regulations on near water. So basically, this agency regulations on the quality of air, water in Nigeria, and they can also review regulations. Also, they control harmful substances and other forms of environmental pollution and sanitation. So basically, you see pollution, sanitation, like the effects of pollution and sanitation in Nigeria. This Nigeria Act empowers the Ministry of Environment to oversee it. Then finally, section prohibits the discharge punishable under that section. Basically, it means that people that discharge harmful or hazardous substances into the environment. This section 27 of the, and then it also makes the offense punishable under the section with the fine exceeding 1 million naira. It means that it must not exceed 1 million naira, and it might be more than 1 million naira too. And then there's an imprisonment term of 5 years.
Hello, yeah, barrister. Hello. Can you hear me?
If it,
Miss Aureolua, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, sorry, please. Your network is a bit breaking. Then can you help us put your slide in a slide mode, please? Want it to be, it's not so bold.
Oh.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And the network is, I
All
think
right.
it's kind of
Sorry.
breaking. It's not really flowing smoothly. Yeah.
Oh,
But help us put it in slide mode. Yeah. Thank you so much. Well done.
oh, please give me a few minutes so that this would work. Sorry, a few minutes, please. Please confirm if you can still hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. Are you finding it difficult to get the slide mode, please? So that we can just tell you to either continue or you can just
Yes,
tell
I
you where to
am.
click.
So,
Okay,
what did you
so
say?
I say so that we can either tell you to continue or you just click on the right place. So you can just go towards the end of your slide and you'll see the slide mode there, please. Besides where you can increase the you can zoom the slide besides it. So you'll see the slide mode there, the fourth icon.
Oh, okay. I think I found that already. Is it okay? Let me.
Or if it's not working, please just go ahead. Yeah, because of time. Thank you.
All right. So, can you see it now? Is it clearer now? Is it clearer now?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Please go ahead.
In section 27 here. So basically, this section 27 of the Measure Act makes it harmful substances into, into the environment. Basically, that's what it does. Then the next one now. So we are moving to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is a national legal tender, and it also recognizes the importance of improving and protecting the environment. So basically, although the Constitution is the national legal order, we can see how important the environment is, right? So the relevant sections there are section 12, though it is implied, but then it implies that international treaty that is environmental that concerns the environment area, then we'll be considering the EIA Act. So EIA means Environmental Impact Assessment Act. And you can find it under, and then it assesses potential impacts, it might be positive and it might be negative, of a proposed project on the natural natural environment. So basically, if you're saying it is this EIA Act that assesses the impact, maybe it's positive or negative, and then it is the respect of public and private projects. So you as an individual, you have a project that you have to, like, that has to be on the natural, that has to be on the natural environment. It is this EIA that addresses the impact, maybe it's positive or negative. So the relevant sections under the EIA, section 2, subsection 1, that requires the assessment of public or private projects that are likely to have significant impact on the environment. So this significant here means negative. So it is this section that assesses public or private projects that contributes maybe negative impact on the environment. So when it is significant, it means negative. And section 60 also creates legal liability for contravention of any provision. It basically means that whatever provision is contrary, like whatever provision is not like whatever provision is not obeyed, section 60 creates legal liability for the contravention. Now we'll be moving. Okay, our time is running out, and I'm moving to the roles that these laws are not just there because they want to be there, right? These laws are very, very much effective. They are that dead to one of that. But then it's a pity that most people are not even aware of these environmental laws. But then the importance of this roles they play. Should you get it? So basically, environmental law, according to Ukechi Jackson Wiley, environmental law is crucial in Nigeria because it tackles distinctive ecological issues faced by the nation, and then it promotes a sustainable future. So basically, environmental law is very much important in Nigeria. It is popular. It is popularly known rather stuff like that. Nigeria is not on the forefront. Nigeria is not poster country for environmental stuff like that like tackles the ecological issues faced by the nation, and then it promotes sustainable future for us as Nigeria. First role of this laws in Nigeria is that they promote renewable energy and clean technology. So these laws, like, they are very, very crucial for addressing the country's energy needs, and then reducing greenhouse gas emissions, promoting sustainable development. Nigeria has abundant solar, there is wind, there is hydro, there is biomass that if harnessed properly, they can contribute to its energy. So this is like one of the major roles that these laws play. Second is the conservation and biodiversity protection. So we all know that diversity and ecological importance. Nigeria is home to diverse ecosystems, wildlife species, natural resources. Our dear country, recognizes the importance of preserving its biodiversity for balance and then for sustainability development. So to achieve this, the reason Nigeria Act was established was to achieve this biodiversity protection. Basically, that's the summary of the whole gist. The reason Nigeria Act was established was to promote biodiversity protection and conservation, and then so established to enforce and standards in Nigeria. Finally, the Environmental Impact Assessment Act of 1999 that proposed projects are environmentally sound, viable, and socially beneficial. So the impact of this EIA is that a person cannot just wake up one day and decide that they want to establish a project on maybe on the natural resources or natural environment. This EIA, negative or positive impact of this project. Are we still following? Please, if you are still following, you can just type something in the chat box. Thank you. Are we following, please? So these are like the major roles these laws play. So you cannot just, you can just go to do it without the environmental without the EI Act, rather. Do you get it? So the EI Act is there to assess the negative or positive impact of whatever. So if the EI Act major is to make sure that these projects are environmentally sound. So if they are not beneficial, well, the EI Act is there to like strike it out and find a way to make it socially beneficial. We'll be moving on to our roles as change makers. You as a change maker, I as a change maker. Basically, we are we are in different professions, right? We are in different careers, but then personally as individuals, we all have a goal. And then we have some published in his article on the Columbia Climate School Journal that individuals are responsible for thinking about their impact on the environment, when possible, minimize the damage they do to the planet, and all of that. So basically, as individuals, there are some things that we do, right? That we need to like about their think about their impact on the environment. This basically means you have the duty of being about that. We have that there are some activities that we do as individuals that do not contribute positively to the environment, right? So it is our duty to ensure that in our personal lives, in our careers, we put these things to practice. There is the concept of reuse, recycle, and all of that. It is a responsibility, right? That to know that these things that we do them to the later, because change starts from you and I. Really, that's just the summary of the OGs. Also, you can be a change maker by raising awareness, and you can this person it does not waste water, lights, you turn off the lights when they are not in use, you embrace sustainable practices, like you do not you turn trash to you recycle things. Basically, there is this trash art or stuff like that. People start to wonder, oh, okay, what's this thing about this? Start getting curious, basically. So, and over time they want to embrace things like that. Let me cite an example. So I'm a plugger in OAU, and um, when people see us, when we have our plug doing this, that, oh, really, this is what plugging is about. Oh, okay, I want to join. We educate them. You do not litter the environment of that. So they're conscious. Oh, okay, wow, this is it. Just things like that. Also, we can also be change makers by being at the forefront of sustainable living. When sustainability, finally, we can conserve resources. You cut back on wasteful spending. When you go to get something, you deliberately refuse plastic. Just embrace sustainable lifestyle. You conserve resources, and then you are not wasteful. So this and many more are how we can play our roles as change makers in our careers. This lesson that we have learned, you can apply there, and over time, people are curious. They want to ask that on how to be change makers as individuals. So this is the end of our lecture this evening. Thank you for sticking with me. And now for the next 10 minutes or all night, I would take your questions. So if you have any questions, clarifications, please let me know. Do we have questions?
Greenies, any
Thank you
questions?
too. Please, if you have questions, please let me know.
Hello, Ore. Miss Oreolua.
All
Can you
right.
hear me?
Oh, okay. Nobody has any
Can you hear
question?
me?
Yes, I can. I can.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you for the delivery. I'll wait till the question time. Please, Greenies, if you have questions, kindly ask your questions so that we can wrap up this section and move to the next. Yeah, thank you, Miss Oreolua. The moderator will take it up from here. We'll wait for questions from our listeners, and if there are no questions, then we'll have to dismiss you. Yeah, thank you.
Greenies, any question for our facilitator? No question. Okay. So we move on to the
Oh,
presentation
okay. A
for.
question already from Ayokunle Joshua.
Okay, okay.
Oh, okay. So, what's what measures do you think can be laws and regulations among businesses, industries, ma? So basically, right? I think I didn't mention that it's not that these laws are not available, right? But then currently in Nigeria, we have like a general compliance problem. There are like many laws that regulate a lot of things that we do, but then compliance is the issue. So in my own opinion and in accordance with opinions of other people, this measures that can be taken to improve compliance, it's when they are like made public that people know. Do you get when people know about these laws and then the government, there is like a way to like punish offenders. When offenders are really really punished, like when people are aware of these laws, then government makes it its duty or their duty to punish offenders. People would be aware, and then it would ensure compliance basically. Let me cite an example. I think it was in the EIR. Okay, yeah, Nigeria Act. The Nigeria Act is usually administered by the Ministry of Environment. They deal with the sanitation of agency. Maybe they are on the patrol or stuff, and they find any erring person or any erring individual, and they punish, and then they make this punishment as publicized as possible. People will be aware. And then, when they punish one person, they punish two persons, they punish three persons, everybody will stop. Do you get? Ayokunle Joshua, if you are still perfect. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. I understand, ma'am. That makes sense. I think that works. It's something that should be looked into.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Are there any more questions? Okay. There is one mental law that is applicable to our various states. Are they applicable? If you're I mentioned that there are federal states in Nigeria that they have their own state laws, like individual state laws, and I think presently we have like states that have their own environmental laws. We have environmental laws. Then we have Kwara State. I made mention of Kwara and Lagos in my presentation earlier. So how do you get to know the environment that is applicable to your own state, Lagos? You can easily browse, like, okay, what laws are applicable to this thing? Like, it's available everywhere. You can use Google. Okay, does my state have any environmental law? Or and then, in fact, if your state does not have an environmental law, apply everywhere in Nigeria. Also, so if you're with me, so if fact if you're stuck and they're applicable over Nigeria, and to what extent are they applicable? They are applicable to the extent that the section a bit that the act make them applicable to you guys. Like that for the extent that is applicable. Um, if you're with me, have I answered your question? Perfect. Thank you. Any more questions?
Yeah, Miss Owolabi, someone is asking here if they can get the slides, that there was a network glitch during the lecture, so they didn't get the delivery well. So can we get the slides for them to share to the greenies so that they can read and then understand it? Is it possible? Can we get the slides?
Yes, yes, you can get the slides. Yes, sure, you
All
can
right.
get the slides.
All right, thank you. So thank you, Ms. Oreoluwa. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me. And
Yeah.
about the slides, sure, you can get them.
All right. Thank you.
I really hope everyone has been able to learn a thing or two tonight.
So Greenies, let's move on to our presentation for tonight. Public and governance GSAG. Are you guys ready? Public sector and governance GSAG. Are you guys ready for your presentation? Seems they are not ready. Are you ready?
Hi ma. Sorry,
Yeah.
my network is a little bit bad. Please, can I share this slide?
I didn't get that.
Like, I don't know how to share my slide on Zoom. Please, can you explain?
Hello, Jisam Karimat. Are you there, please? Okay, please, Greenies.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, so the live section is about to kick off. Please, let's get ready. Let's if you are going to be presenting for your GSAG, please just turn on the electronic use your hand to indicate, okay? Use the electronic hand to indicate. And please tell your GSAG members to join in. Once the moderator mention your GSAG and there's no response, it means it is automatically 0, okay? So please, let's just get ourselves ready so that we can finish much in time. Jisam Karima, please, over to you. Sorry, don't raise your hand yet. Once your GSAG is being called, you raise your hand. So the first one, you already saw the order. So the first one, the first GSAG, please, that's the hand we are looking for. So if they are not ready or if the hands are not raised, it means we'll move on to the next. Please, Jisam Karima, please take over so that we can finish up the section much earlier. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Hold on.
Sorry, please, who is sharing screen?
Hi ma.
Is this the presenter? Are you ready?
Yes, ma.
Sorry, Jisam Merit, are you there, please? Presenter of public governance, and we did not ask you to share any screen. No. We asked, are you ready? That's the question. You're already sharing screen. Please remove it. Answer the question, are you ready? The moderator has a lot of things to mention about the presentation. So please, let's adhere to instruction first before sharing screen, okay? Mr. Mary, please, are you there? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you. Moderator, please, over to you. Thank you.
Okay, so are you ready? Presenter for public sector and governance. Are you ready? Are you there?
Yes, ma'am, we are ready. We are ready.
Yeah. How many presenters do you have? How many people is presenting for public governance?
We are 2 ma.
2. Okay.
Yes.
Can you co-host you? Okay. Is your name, please? Your name?
My name is Godwin
Can you hear
Okon.
me?
Yes, I can hear you. My name is Godwin Okon.
Okay. The other presenter.
My name is Ikmas Badamosi.
Okay. All right. You have 8
Ikmas
minutes.
Badamosi.
8 minutes for this presentation. All right. You can go ahead. You can share your screen.
Sorry, hold on first. Jisam Karimot.
Yeah.
Sorry, please. How about Jisam Merit? Want to avoid like network glitch and all. Jisam Merit, are you there, please? Okay, it seems there's no response. Probably network. The
Yeah,
plan
I think
is
it's
for us to share our screen from our end to avoid any form of network glitch from your own side. Because once the time starts counting, we don't want to hear, oh, it is network and all. That's the aim. Okay, probably she can just they should just take over because of time.
yes.
They should take over. Please, the first GSA take over. Let's see how to sort it. Please,
Okay.
Jisam Karima, please tell them the rules guiding this presentation and when they have
Yeah.
to stop. Okay, thank you.
Yes. So you are stopping at this is 8:27. You are stopping at exactly 8:35. So if you are not done with your presentation by that time, the other GSAG will actually have to take over, and I have to note you. Did you get that? Did you
Yes,
get
please.
that? Okay,
Yes.
please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So, my name is Ikmas Padamusi, and I'm representing public sector and governance GSAC. So, we are majorly talking about how public sector and governance GSAC can address environmental and climate crisis. So, our table of contents are introduction to public sector and governance, the negative effect of public sector and governance on environmental and climate crisis, then the positive contribution of public sector and governance in the reduction of environmental and climate impacts, then the solution to the problems caused by public sector and governance. Then lastly, the in situ and ex situ leadership of public sector and governance. So, firstly, introduction. The public sector is a major component of a nation's economy, which encompasses various government entities, institutions, and agencies. And they provide the essential services and manage resources for the benefit of the citizen. And this is as a result of I'm referencing the OECD 2020. Sorry. Then according to World Health Organization 2020, the public sector accounts for approximately 64.2% of the total government expenditure on healthcare, while education and infrastructure development accounts for 21.1% and 10.5% respectively in an average nation, according to UNESCO 2020. So moving on to the next table of contents, which is the negative effect of public sector and governance on environmental and climate crisis. So I'll be passing on to the second presenter to take over from there. Thank you.
There are quite numerous negative effects of public sectors and governance. And of course, we get to see each of these every day in our daily life because as far as we are concerned, we need these people, I mean, the people who are working in the public sector to go on with their daily life. So climate and environmental crises are a whistle-blowing topic in the western part of Africa and the world at large, which of course
Sorry,
we
please,
want
can
to
you move
follow.
away from the phone? We can't hear you, please.
Sorry? Please, can I say hello?
Hello. Okay, we can hear you like that. Please, if you can move away a little bit from the phone. Thank you.
Okay. So I was saying that environmental crises are a whistleblowing topic, which of course is one of the reasons why we gather like this. And the public sector and governance has quite a vast majority of negative effects, which does on the climate, sufficiency of regulatory structure, lack of investment, renewable failure to implement effective structure are most of the negative reasons that the public sector has. We know our government, they know quite a lot of things to do, but they fail to do them. And even when they want to do most of these things, they do it the way they like, not the way it should be done. So most all these things have to make it perfect. And of course the environment, inadequate waste, sufficient waste bin, and a lack of provisions of environmental abilities are indicative effect that the public sector have in the environment. The next slide is the positive effect. So, we'll talk about the solution. We'll talk about the solution to this time, talk about the solutions, then the conclusion. The solution that the public sector governance can implement, make most of these take effect, taking away is one, policy and regulation. The government can enact policy and regulation to reduce greenhouse gas emission and promote sustainability. This includes renewable energy, making a law that makes people to reduce, reuse, and their plastic use, and public transit, energy efficiency program, as well as government investment in environment and climate are the recommended solutions that can help um, erode the negative effect that the public sector has bestowed on the environment. So the concluding part of it before our time elapses, the conclusion. Conclusion, effective governance and public sector involvement are critical in addressing the climate and environmental crisis. By implementing comprehensive policies, investing in sustainable technologies, cooperating internationally, planning sustainable urban development, raising public awareness, and preparing for climate impact, government can lead the way in mitigating and adapting to climate change. So these are the ways that we've come up in public sector and governance on how we can bring solutions to environmental and climate crisis. Thank you.
Thank you, public governance and sector GSA. Thank you. So health and wellness, are you ready? Is your presenter ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Hold on.
Hello.
Hi, we can hear you. Good evening.
Okay, good evening, ma. Can I start now?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Oh, good evening, moderator, the facilitator, and my colleagues. So I'll be talking on the topic of transformative action for environmental sustainability in health and wellness sector. So we will be looking, the next slide, please. We'll be looking at the health wellness sector. The next slide, yeah. The table of contents, we'll be looking at what the health and wellness sector entails, its relationship to environmental sustainability, the market value and the scopes, and also the way health and wellness sector contribute to the climate crisis, and lastly, their leadership roles. Next slide, please. Yeah, looking on the at the introduction, health and wellness sector, they consist of a wide range of industries that promote the mental, physical, and emotional well-being. That is, these sectors, it includes like the tech companies, the fabrics, textile, cleaning agencies, and lots more. The next slide. health and wellness sector is closely related. It's related to the environmental sustainability, as the air, water, and the food we get from nature is beneficial to our well-being. The next slide, please. So this sector can be grouped into 3 categories, which is the material they used, and the materials includes like the organic fabrics for clothing and eco-friendly packaging. While also the service they offer includes the fitness classes, nutrition, counseling, spa treatment, and holistic therapies. And also the product ranges from vitamins and supplements to yoga mats, essentials oils, and sustainable active wears. The next slide, please. We'll be looking at the market value. This chart shows us how the sector has increased drastically over the years, with the market value at as at 2023 years. The market value is marked at $5,546 billion, and it's expected to more increase over the years.
Oh my God.
So moving on, the waste, health, and wellness sector solution. Can you hear me, please? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Continue.
Yeah, okay. We will be looking at how the health and wellness sector, they contribute to the climate crisis and their solutions. One of these ways they contribute is the negative impact, like through their packaging waste from, like for example, when you went to get your lipstick or your powder and all other beauty products, they all come in with. It contributes to the waste that is generated, and also energy intensive practice like the spa and the gyms. As you all know, the gyms require lots of energy, like the power supply system, and which is not sustainable. The next slide. No, sorry. The positive impact. Actually, the positive impact is the renewable energy. Over the years, they've like
I've been waiting for you.
Oh, hello. Hello. Hello.
We can hear you.
The positive
We
impact
can hear you.
Yeah, we
is
can hear you.
in the
Is there a problem?
the voice is this.
Today.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear
So
you.
like
We can hear you.
positive impacts like ability packagings over the years, more wellness companies they've decided to incorporate sustainable packagings to their like for example, the normal package when you get your beauty products, most of the packagings they are recyclable, not like how it used to be. So moving to the solution. So the solution that was placed down is like day-to-day operation, the industry-wide approach. They've been able to conduct regular environmental assessment and set targets. And also they've been able to engage stakeholders to encourage sustainability behavior and also to support policy change and advocacy. The next slide, please. So moving on, we'll be talking on the leadership roles. We have 2 types of leadership approach, which is the institute's leadership, which is subdivided into 2, which is the preparing leaders in health and fitness, and also the health and fitness industry. So for the preparing leaders in health and fitness, it's to encourage a culture of holistic awareness, spread awareness of the advantages of preventative healthcare, includes programs for mental and emotional health. It promotes realization and a health work-life balance, implements ecological responsible practice, creates engaging application for exercise and nutrition, and also creates wearable technology for health monitoring. why the health and fitness industries, they'll be able to facilitate for physical fitness, they'll be able to increase like their healthcare providers and also their awareness program by educating people more on how to go about this, and also the institute approach in health and awareness industry. They've been able to, over the years, they've been able to remove the promote the shift to preventive healthcare. They've tax advantage for preventative medical care. They've launched excessive awareness program. Also, like I said, also for the institute, they've gone through series of awareness educative program to let people know more on how to come about the sustainability. And the conclusion and recommendation, by putting the health of the world and its inhabitants first, we support the fundamentals of sustainable development for a prosperous future. And as there is still much work to be done in this sector, our action and voice is to promote sustainable and awareness in our personal lives and communities, so as to create a ripple effect that will lead to positive change on a large scale. Thank you.
Thank you, Health and Wellness presenter, for that beautiful presentation. Business and Economy GSAG, are you guys ready for your presentation?
Yes, we are ready. Business and
Okay,
economy sector, ma.
okay, how many presenters do you have?
We have two, ma.
Okay, 2. Your time starts now. This is 8:43 and your presentation is ending 8:51. You can go ahead.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. The judges and every other green is here. All right, so I'm representing the business and economy sector with my fellow green here, and today we'll be talking about sustainability in regards to the economy and business sector. We are going to relate them to business practices, how we can ensure sustainable business practices in this Nigeria's economic sector. So actually in Nigeria, we have different sectors like the production, the distribution and consumption sectors, where they produce goods and services. And we also have other sectors like the finance and banking. We have other sectors like manufacturing, we have other sectors like commerce, retails, where they purchase some materials. Then we also have sectors like transportation. Next slide. So actually, based on our discussion here, there's actually statistics that Nigeria, we are the largest economy in Africa, and we have a GDP, a gross development profit of growth rate of about 3.3% as at 2021. And there's also another statistics. These statistics are well grounded and they are recent, talking about the fact that we generate about 32 million tons of solid waste annually. That's a whole lot, with only 20 to 30% of it collected. So this is like a very, very crucial issue in Nigeria. And another thing is about it's 3.3% of our banks in Nigeria have sustainability strategy, which is actually commendable. It's a good one. Next slide. Okay, now so talking about the next thing now, want to address before we address our positive impact based on the our GSAG, which is business and economy sector. I would like to talk about our country, Nigeria, our country. Okay, so Nigeria is a very major driver of development, and we add to pollution, and pollution in regards to globally right now, because we have a lot of unsustainable means which we used to consume, which we use in consuming natural resources, just like we have our natural resources, so we consume them a lot. And another thing is that about 150,000 metric tons of plastic bottles annually, with half of it coming from Lagos. So Lagos is like a very, very big it's a very big city in Nigeria that contributes to the amount of plastics that we produce in Nigeria. And also, yeah, it's a very big statistic, and yeah, it's something that should be looked into. So next slide, please. Okay, now, so I'm going to be talking about, next slide, please. I'm going to be talking about the negative impact. So before we talk about the positive, let us see the negative impact. So right now in Nigeria, negative impact is more, it's more, it's more glaring because we have deforestation, we have other factors just like pollution, waste management, then we have energy consumption. Now, I would like to talk a little bit about our energy consumption. So it will actually be good if, we have sustainable practices, renewable energy practices based on this negative part. All right. Now I'll be talking about the okay. I would like to talk more on the pollution part. So Nigeria actually there is a lot of manufacturing plants in Nigeria, and there are also some fact pollutants like in water, like our water bodies. We have many machines and equipments that contribute to air water pollution. Yeah, ecosystems, and it even affects our human health. Then waste management, we have an inadequate waste management practice. I mean, based on polluting the water bodies and land, and this is something that actually leads to environmental degradation. Yeah, then another thing is also about deforestation. Deforestation is cutting down trees. So this deforestation will cut down trees a lot, which leads to carbon segregation. Next slide, please. Now, talking about the positive. So right now, I'm going to be talking about the positive impact. Now, the positive impact, positive environmental impact via GSAG. It's a very, very common thing. Everything that has a negative impact will definitely have a positive impact. You can all agree with me, right? Okay, so now, based on the positive impact of our GSAG, it is important that we invest in renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, green transportation, and circular economy principles. Circular economy, it's a very good thing, and it helps to minimize waste and conserve resources. Yeah, it conserves resources, and when we have eco-friendly product, it's a good thing. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, so these are the day-to-day operations, energy efficient practices, and recycling programs which we are going to be incorporating. Next slide, please. Now my second can come over and talk about this. So basically, we have industry-wide approaches. These are our industry-wide approaches. So we intend to have sustainable products. Then we should invest in research and development in Nigeria. We should collaborate with suppliers, and we should support policy reforms. Policy reform is very important, and we should embrace circular economy. Next slide, please. Then my speaker can come on.
Okay, good evening, everybody. How our sector can become an example. Due to time, I'll just go straight. We will have to set up clear goals that we can achieve. So we have to inspire change among the other sectors. We have to build network. You have to build network that other businesses to be able to take in. Then we have to adapt to change. Let me give an example of change. When you go, you're a company that always does with other forms of energy. You have to incorporate things like solar energy and the rest. Next slide, please. This basically means we just have to get a clear picture of the leadership and innovation, the cross-sector collaboration. We have to collaborate with other sectors, not only our sector. We have to go to other sectors and collaborate with them so that we can get the sustainable practice and desire for. Thank you very much. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Entrepreneurship and innovation sector. Are you ready?
Yes, ma, I am ready.
Okay, so how many presenters do you guys have? How many presenters have you decided?
I am the presenter.
Yeah?
Presenter in the GSA that represents the GSA.
I can't hear you.
I said I am presenting the GSAG.
Oh, okay. Okay, your time starts now. This is 8:51. You are ending. Okay, this is 8:52. You are ending by 9 p.m. You can go ahead.
All right, thank you very much, GSAM and moderator. Thank you, everyone. I am Chukwuka Matthew Innocent, representing entrepreneurship and innovation GSAG. So our presentation centers on guide on how to. Please let me see the next slide. Okay, a guide on how to achieve sustainable living in Africa. That's focusing on this or on the sector that our GSAG encompasses. How we can bring this thing sustainable living and ameliorate the discharge of carbon into the atmosphere to global warming. So the entrepreneurship and innovation sector is responsible for the creation of new ideas, processes, products, and for adding more values to existing products or services. It represents the sector of the West African economy that engages in the production of goods and methods in new and or improved products and methods in industries. This sector is virtually everything people use, from food production and processing to paper making. This sector uses a variety of materials to function effectively, including digital tools, software, hardware, and online platforms, data and analytics, financial resources, marketing and branding materials. Next slide, please. So products and services. The entrepreneurship and innovation sector offers a wide range of products and services, including 1, technology and software solutions, 2, e-commerce and online marketplaces, 3, creative and design services, 4, education and training, 5, food and beverage innovations. This sector is committed to achieving environmental sustainability across the West African region through leadership, development, and research. Next slide, please. Negatives. So our sector has certain negatives that comes along with it, and we have them as follows. 1, resource use. So through resource use, such as printing and education materials, that leads to deforestation and paper waste, carbon sinks, and emission of carbons stored in the trees. Also, overconsumption of raw materials can lead to scarcity and depletion. 2, energy consumption. High energy demands for data centers, servers, and digital infrastructure contribute to carbon emission and resource depletion. Running training programs and workshops requires significant energy use, often relying on non-renewable resources. 3, pollution. Industrial processes, manufacturing, and transportation can release harmful chemicals and pollutants into the air, water, and soil. Continuous release of these, as well as other greenhouse gases, increases global warming. Next slide, please. Positives. In a bid to reduce the negative impacts of this sector on the environment, we have adopted a number of sustainable practices, some of which are: first, use of digital materials. There has been a shift towards using digital platforms for educational materials and training resources, reducing paper usage, which by implication reduces the sector's contribution to deforestation. Renewable energy sources. Building sustainable infrastructure such as green buildings and the use of renewable energy installations like solar energy for various power operations will reduce the rate of carbon emission from our facilities. Waste reduction and management by creating solutions for waste minimization, recycling, and the entrepreneurship and innovation sector reduced its net environmental impact. Next slide, please. Okay, solution. We have a number of solutions to the problems or the negative environmental impact that our sector has brought. So the solutions to our day-to-day operations that in that reference of the entrepreneurship and innovation sector includes waste management, implementing efficient waste collection, recycling, and upcycling programs, and encouraging paperless operations. Next, energy efficiency, upgrading to energy efficient appliances, and lighting in offices and training centers. Some industry-wide approach partnership is the first, supporting and collaborating with other entrepreneurs, researchers, and environmental experts to develop solutions that protect and restore ecosystems, preserve biodiversity, and implement sustainable technologies. Next is green procurement, promoting the use of energy efficient solutions, sourcing sustainable materials and eco-friendly products for all operations. Next slide. Then our leadership approach, how we can quell the impending climate change and the problem our GSAG brings or the sector represents bring to the society environment. So we have brought out this in situ leadership approaches. So the leaders and heads of the entrepreneurship and innovation sector, GSAG, can be equipped through the following ways. First, training programs. Develop specialized training programs and integrate sustainability and environmental stewardship into leadership development programs for the sector. Another one, awareness campaigns. Conduct regular workshops and seminars in the latest sustainability practices and technologies. Another one, sustainability metrics. Implementing sustainability metrics and reporting to track and improve environmental performance. Next slide, please. Then X2 leadership, how through our leadership or knowledge, how we can influence other sectors to join us in the green revolution. So we have the sector can serve as a model for other sectors through the following ways. One, case study. Publish case studies highlighting successful sustainability initiatives within the GSAG. Two, use of artificial carbon sinks. The sector represented by our GSAG uses artificial carbon sinks to collect a considerable amount of greenhouse gases it emits, thus influencing other sectors to do the same. We use such as the dark technology, that is direct air collector, to collect great amounts of air and suck the carbons in it. Then 3, best practices. Share best practices and successful strategies with other sectors to inspire widespread adoption. 4, collaborative forum. Host conferences to bring together leaders from various sectors to discuss and promote sustainability. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you very much. This is our guide to
Thank you. Fashion and lifestyle services. Are you ready? Fashion and lifestyle services, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So how many presenters do you have? Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, we can
Hello.
hear you. We have two presenters, ma.
Okay. So you are starting now.
Hello.
This is yes. Can you hear me? You're starting
Yes,
now.
ma, I can hear you.
Yeah.
All right.
Your presentation is ending by 9 minutes after 9. Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, my judges, moderators, timekeepers, GSAMs, co-debaters, and my fellow greenies. I am Plugger Usman from Abuja. I will be talking on the use of fashion and lifestyle services that drive environmental sustainability in Nigeria. I'm presenting GSAC, Fashion and Lifestyle Services. I'm with my GSAM Olamide Adekola with my greenies. Please, the next slide. Okay, this is the overview of what we will be discussing tonight. First of all, the introduction to the environmental impact and climate crisis in Nigeria. Secondly, we'll be talking about the negative, positive, and solutions to impact of climate and environmental crisis in Nigeria. I will also dive into leadership, institute leadership, and ex situ leadership, concluding with our conclusion. Next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, here in our introduction, it's talking about the environmental challenges and problems facing Nigeria, which includes pollution, waste management, and climate change. It also talks about how fashion and lifestyle services is vital in addressing these concerns, encompassing clothing, textiles, beauty products, and accessories. Also, the fashion and lifestyle service sector is also an influential sector in the country, Nigeria. Next slide. Okay, number two, these are the negative impacts of climate and environmental crisis in Nigeria. The fashion sector is a major contributor to climate and environmental crisis and has been ranked as the third World Economic Forum in 2021. That is the statistics of how fashion and lifestyle service has contributed to the climate change and environmental crisis in Nigeria. Next slide. Okay, the negative impact of climate and environmental crisis include textile production and processing, which lead to water, land, and air pollution, which is very bad to the health of humans and animals in the ecosystem. Secondly, synthetic fibers like polyester and nylon can take up to 100 years to decay, which causes environmental problems and pollution. Thirdly, plastic packaging and accessories contribute to plastic pollution in our environment in Nigeria. Next slide. Okay, here we are talking about the positive impacts of climate change and environmental impact in Nigeria. So next, there are some positive impacts of climate change and environmental crisis that occurs in Nigeria. Please, the next slide. Okay. Here, the positive impact of climate and environmental crisis in Nigeria include one, sustainable textile initiatives and government programs. This means that government should produce initiatives and produce programs for sustainable textile institutions. for sustainable growth of the fashion and lifestyle service sector in Nigeria. Secondly, plastic reduction and recycling. This is a positive impact of environmental and climate change crisis in Nigeria by reducing plastic burning and using it for recycling. Third, circular economy principles. 4. Okay, move to the next slide. 4. Innovative technologies and materials. 5. Education and awareness to contribute mitigating the environmental impact of Nigeria. Please, the next slide. Okay, this slide here gives an example of demonstrating sustainable practices in Nigeria in the fashion and lifestyle service sector in Nigeria. This is a typical example demonstrating it, as you can see the picture here. This is a picture from Lagos, the Lagos Fashion Week's Green Access Initiative. The next slide, please. Okay, here we are talking about the solutions for the impact of climate and environmental crisis in Nigeria. These solutions for the impact of climate and environmental crisis in Nigeria include: 1. Adoption of sustainable materials for production processes. 2. Implementing circular principles through recycling and upcycling. This means that government and government bodies should implement principles which will guide the recycling and upcycling of textile materials in the country. 3rd, practicing sustainable waste management. This is the act of promoting sustainable waste management in the country for better climate and reducing climate change and environmental crisis in Nigeria. Okay, the next slide, please. Here we are talking about the in situ leadership. This means the leadership within our country. Number 1, it talks about partnership with government agencies and NGOs to promote sustainable practices in Nigeria to reduce impact of climate and environmental crisis. Through the partnership of government agencies and NGO, it can promote sustainable practices in Nigeria. 2, by encouraging local textile production to reduce reliance on imported materials. This means that the government and the people in the country should encourage the use of the materials we produce within our country.
Time up. Thank you.
Thank you
Fashion
very
and
much.
yes. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
So we've come to the end of the presentations. Thank you guys. To all the presenters, well done. You've done well. To all the GSAG members, thank you too. Kudos to you all. So before we move to WhatsApp for the rest of our program tonight, please, we have our chief blogger. He has a comment to pass. So please, he wants to speak to us. Chief blogger, please go ahead. You have the floor. Chief, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. All right. Good evening, everyone. Great to connect with you all. If you can hear me, please just drop a hi in the chat room. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Please, you guys should clap for yourself. If you're just whatever you're doing, just clap for yourself. If you're holding your phone, please drop it and just clap for yourself. Clap physically for yourself wherever you are, because I know it's not been easy to get to this point in the academy. This is the 6th day, and you guys have had to do a lot of things, and you've had to put this presentation together. So kudos to you for being here till now and for actually finding a way, working with other people who you most likely did not know before up to this point. So kudos to you guys, really. And greetings to all the GSAMs on the call too for all their leadership and monitoring up to this point. So I just want to, my name is Mayo Kunya Omoleri. I'm the founder of Plugin Nigeria and also the initiator of the Green Switch Academy. So I have this amazing GSAMs working that are handling the academy now. So I would like to pass a few comments based on this presentation. So it appears that many or most of us did not understand what was required of us for this presentation. This is supposed to be the highlight of the academy. So the academy's team is Shepherds, and the idea behind that is to have people who can lead, to have leaders who would be the front runners of environmental sustainability, who we champion and all that. So, and that's what we wanted you to learn and to become. We wanted to become a shepherd for sustainability, and we also wanted this debate or presentation to show how how important leadership is in these different sectors, because ultimately it's all of these sectors working together that keeps the world going. So yeah, you guys did well on introducing your sectors and what your sectors represent. So kudos to you all for that. And I think we started having problems with adapting, your presentation to the guide that was provided. I know that a lot of you used AI. It was obvious in your content, because some of your content were very general. They were not really addressing the topics. Yeah, you had all the outline as you were provided, but your contents were not really addressing. Or some of you even had content that maybe was speaking to the theme or the topic, but you were saying something else, something totally different from what you were presenting. So there was a bit of mix up. Again, I know you did not have enough time for this. You had to rush. Maybe some of you even did your presentation today, but there was an outline that was given to you, and I think it was included in the guide, the outline for presentation or how you were going to be scored. And I think the two cheapest things there, number one is team support during presentations. You have a 10 marks there. If you look at the scoring guide, you'd see that the marks are not really concentrated in one place or at one point, and you can, even if your presentation, if the core of your presentation, if the content is not the best, you can still have good scores if your team was supporting you during your presentation. I think about 2 groups had no support at all from their team members. I think about 3 other groups were doing well with that. So I'm scoring from my end. For those that do not have anybody cheering them on, I don't know the number of persons you have left on your groups too. So I scored you just 1 because there was nothing, and that's 10 marks for that. And for those that had the support, I gave 8, 9. So cheap score. Then there's also the time management part. I think most of us, everybody virtually did well. A cheap 10 marks to also get. Then there's also the presentation flow. The nature of your presentation, and I think we were average on that. But many of you were reading your slides, and that's very bad, reading your slides. You could have just mentioned the points, and if you read the first sentence, read the mid sentence, read the last sentence, and move on. But some persons were reading all through. And I think that is not cool at all. Then there's the slide creativity. I think you guys actually tried with the slides again, having very limited time. So you guys were able to put together slides that do not cause visual pollution, that are um, well appealing to the eyes. So cheap scores to get. Then the most important part of the presentation, there's also data and referencing. This is how I also know that some of you used AI. Well, maybe it's not a strong pointer. I don't have problem with you using AI to generate content and all that, but whenever you do that, you always have to tailor the responses that AI gives you to the question that was asked to you. Please never forget that. So data and referencing, many persons I scored, many groups I scored you just one, because you just made a presentation all through and you did not reference anything. You did not mention that this was the source of your information. And I think just about two GSACs did that, mentioned at some point the sources of their data, and maybe one had like a reference list at the end. Then the most important part of the presentation is the content depth in relation to provided guide. And this is where you talk about the negatives and positives of your sector. Again, some of you were very general about this, and some of you were saying different things than what was even on your slide. So what that was asking is, how does your sector negatively affect the environment? Some of you got it very well, but again, you were too general. So you could even have gone as far as giving a case study, or say in the fashion industry, for example. I think the fashion industry guys actually did well on that. But the responses were more like, I'm thinking of the best way to put this. I think I would have enjoyed more a situation where somebody gives a practical example, like, okay, in our sector, in the technology sector, for example, we use we produce a lot of phones and all of that, and in the process of production, this happens. We use a lot of gadgets that are built from materials that are sourced from the earth, minerals that are sourced from the earth, and that has its own impact on the environment, then the operation, the energy running all of these minerals. So some of you did that. I think somebody spoke in that regards, but it was more of reading what you had on your slides. So it showed that you did not really have an understanding of that connect of how your sector was contributing negatively. So again, when you have 3-4 points in the negative impact part, for example, you could just dwell on one and explain to show that you actually have that understanding. Then the same thing for the positive impact. I think I heard somebody saying the positive impact of climate change and environmental crisis. That was totally off from what was being asked. It was supposed to be how your sector was also contributing positively or helping to make positive environmental impact. Yeah, again, some of us tried, but we were very generic, and I was seeing a lot of responses that were just copied from AI and posted here. Then the other part about in situ leadership and ex situ leadership. So some of us got it right, but again, too generic. And the in situ leadership, I think I enjoyed responses from two groups. They kind of really dwelt on what was asked. The question was that part was supposed to mention how people that are leaders in the sector, say in the fashion sector, for example, people that are leaders. So the general managers, I was expecting somebody to mention at some point, executive directors of fashion companies, of a technology company, the general managers, the top leaders, the departmental managers. These people should, all be mandated to take a course on sustainability to help them understand how their businesses affect the environment. Yes, some of you mentioned that they should take trainings, but it would have been more relatable if you actually mentioned like some top leadership positions that we have in companies and in sectors. Then somebody was saying at some point also the government should do this, the government should do that. I don't think this was in any way about the government. It's more about this different sector. Yeah, the government is involved in these sectors in some ways and all that. So yeah, the government could mandate, for example, that each company ensures that their leaders take some training and carry out some activities, or meet some standards before they operate and all that. So Then for the ex-situ leadership, I think a few groups also got it. Again, the question was asking how things that are going well in your own sector can be adapted or can be adopted in other sectors. A few of us also got it, but the explanations were too general. So in summary, sorry, I've spoken so much already. The presentations were not bad, but they were also not mind-blowing. And I understand that we had very limited time to put this together. So I still give you guys kudos for being able to deliver. I mean, every group presented, but in other engagements you are going to have, I think it is very important to look, if a scoring guide is provided, it's very important to make sure that what you are bringing, what you are presenting actually, caters for all parts of the presentation. Get the easy marks and make sure that the very important parts also you cover it. And when you are presenting, try not to read. If you have so much to talk about, you can pick one or two that you understand personally very well. When if you're explaining 5 things and you know only 1 or 2 very well, and you shine your light on those 1 or 2, people will listen to you more because you explain them properly. People will listen to you more, even if you're just breezing through the rest 3. So you can use that approach always when you're presenting. Pick one, dwell on it, show that you have an understanding of it, and make it look like it's because of time that you don't have the luxury of explaining the rest and stuff like that. So yeah, that would be my comments to everybody, but kudos to you all once again. And I hope that beyond this academia and this presentation, I hope that this has helped you come to the knowledge of these sectors better and how the influence or impacts the environment and vice versa, and that you take knowledge from this whole presentation, working together as a team, and all this feedback I've given in your subsequent engagements. And also importantly, that all of this helps you to become better individual and potentially corporate leaders for environmental sustainability, helps you to become shepherds of sustainability. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak, GSAMs. And that's me. Bye. Over to you, GSAM, Karimot, or Gift.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chief. Just some Karimot, are you there, please? So well done, Greenies. Well done, everyone. Our dear Chief has said everything, and we just hope that we, take up all that we've learned from this. Sam Karimat, are you there, please, so that I can take over this section? Are you there? Greens, please, can you still hear me? Can you hear me, please? Thank you, Chief. Thank you all GSAMs that stayed connected. Thank you for joining. To all the presenters, well done. You guys did absolutely great. I know it's not an easy thing. Some of you this might have been your first time presenting. Okay, it's all start from oh my God, start from somewhere, yeah. So please, let's just take the corrections, the ones that we can use, let's use them for our subsequent work, because definitely you will do something like this again. So I think the next session is about to kick off. Jisam Karima, please confirm if you are here. So we are done with the live section. Thank you for also staying tuned for the lecture and for this GSAX presentation, yeah. So these like the major highlights. So please get ready for your publication. Don't go and sleep. Don't go and sleep after this, okay? There'll be a rule guiding the publication, what exactly is expected of you. There'll be a rule that will be dropped tonight. So please adhere strictly to that rule. The moderator will take over from here, and there's the last part of this section, okay, on WhatsApp. So please, we're gonna move. Before then, please, Jisam Karimat, are you here, please? I can't hear your voice. Can you hear me? Please, if you can hear me, kindly confirm. Let me know I'm talking to myself. Please, can anyone hear me?
We can hear you, ma.
We can hear you.
Okay. It seems it's maybe our network. Let me ask and confirm again. Is Karima, please, are you there? Our moderator. Okay. Time is running out. I can't. Okay, she's unmuted, but I can't hear. Is it just me? Okay, because of time, please let us. Okay, thank you. Let us move. I don't know. Let me try to confirm again. Probably network. Is Karima, please, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. I've been trying to call. So please try to end the section for us and the next move, please. Thank you so much. Well done. Hello. Wow. I can't hear her. I don't know if it's just from my end. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just end this section because of time. I believe that yeah, she will take it over from here, please, on WhatsApp. So please let's just move to WhatsApp. Don't go to bed though. Move to WhatsApp for the next thing. And thank you so much. And congratulations on making it to day 6. Okay. All right, everyone. Bye for now. Thank you. Good night.